Batrider is one of the least picked heroes in all of Dota. In fact, 100% of the games in which he has been picked have been pro games. I've never once seen him picked in a pub. It's interesting how that works out, eh? Because it sort of brings up a question of fun versus winning in a really concentrated form. Would I like to be a pro player? Would you? I mean, you enjoy winning, but you also enjoy playing these guides, and you can't do both at the same time. I enjoy winning. Would I enjoy winning if I won by slogging through the same broken but boring heroes every game? Would I enjoy winning if I knew the alternative was not getting paid that month? All of that is sort of irrelevant though, come to think of it, because I have a fun Batrider build. It might even be a good Batrider build. I have a 70% win rate with it currently, but that might be on account of the fact that ranked matchmaking is in utter turmoil right now. You be the judge. Oh man, I don't know, maybe this section's wasted breath this episode. Batrider is consistently the most picked hero in pro games and regularly the first pick. The times when he's not the most picked are when he's the most banned. Batrider is the catch-all hero. He has a repositioning 4-second stun, he has consistent magic damage, he's extremely reliable, he's a lane winner, and is good against nearly everyone in one way or another. Unless they're Oracle. There's the one stipulation. Any hero who can purge Flaming Lasso, but even then, just lasso the Oracle. Or if it's a self-purger like Abaddon or Slark, just don't lasso them. In reality, Batrider can do everything but push a tower. Or well, that used to be the case. You know, I feel like I make these guides for me as much as they are for you. Writing down all of these ideas helps me get my head around it, you know? I've played Batrider sporadically for 7 years now, and I've always wondered if 1 sticky napalm, 2 firefly levels, or 2 sticky napalm, 1 firefly level was more efficient. You know that curiosity where the urge to find out is really irksome, but not enough where you actually bother to do the research? Well, here we go. I run Batrider offlane. I'm slowly starting to run everyone offlane, it seems. And there you go. Here's my build. 2 napalm, 1 firefly is 15 damage per tick. Ticks happen every 0.5 seconds, so it's a 30 DPS. But 1 napalm, 2 firefly is 30 damage per tick, and 60 DPS. The only thing we lose is a 2% movement slow per stack, plus our attacks, I guess, doing a little less damage. Sticky Napalm is weirdly the most realistic spell in the game. In fact, all of Batrider's attributes are strangely realistic, you know? Other than the fact that he rides a bat. And even then, with the scale of everything so messed up in Dota, a star supernova ring is the same size as a magical mole rat? What? Batrider could work. If literally everything in Dota was really small, except for Batrider's bat, which was bat-sized, a very small and light rider could be supported by it. Sticky Napalm's quirks are that it gives a turn rate slow of 70% with just 1 cast. No subsequent casts change that. A stack lasts 8 seconds, you have a 3-second cooldown, so a 5-second window to cast again, and if you successfully get that stack off, the duration is refreshed and you have another 8 seconds. With 10 seconds, you're adding 250 damage per damage tick. With a reasonably achieved 5 stacks, you're adding 125. Firefly ticks every 0.5 seconds. Every 1 second, you are dealing 500 extra damage. Just accidentally, pretty much. Flame Break, however, ticks every 1 second. With a 1500 cast range, you throw out a non-stunning pushback that pushes everything outside of the 375 radius in the shortest distance. So clip a guy with the edge, he moves 25 units, land it behind a fleeing guy, boy howdy, you've just launched him forward and into safety. It's a slow projectile too, so it takes practice to not unwittingly screw your team over. Generally, just overshooting and risking missing is usually safer. It deals 40 damage for 7 seconds. With 5 stacks, it's 1,000 damage. 1,000 damage? Yikes! Firefly is also realistic. It burns everything. It burns down trees. And Napalm would amplify it, wouldn't it? It lasts for 18 seconds with 5 stacks plus the 70 DPS. It's a 10,000 damage nuke if they stood in it for the full 18 seconds, which they'll try to avoid. How could one remedy this situation, Flaming Lasso is a 4-second BKB piercing stun that repositions a unit to wherever you go. It says in the description, victims cannot be dragged over impassable terrain, but victims can be dragged over impassable terrain. If Batrider blinks or is blinked by Nether Swap, for example, over 425 units, Lasso breaks. If the lassoed person, however, gets blinked any range, it breaks. Here's something fun. With Ags, you lasso 2 people, the second one bound to the first. So if the first one breaks his lasso to you, the second is still connected to him, and he drags them along. Cute, right? Oh, and also, lasso disarms Bat, so we'll have to think of something else to do in the 4-second duration. Channel a spell, perhaps? Why do I even pretend to be mysterious? You saw in the thumbnail I'm going to suggest Meteor Hammer, so here I go. Before that though, start off like we're boring normal Bats. Bat's the class of hero that can justify boots first. If he runs faster than his target, he can overshoot them with Firefly to make sure no matter which way they run, they're still being burned. And then just your classic tangos and clarity, maybe swapping out the clarity for Iron Branch. Early game, considering what we're setting ourselves up for, I skip boots. Normally bats would go tranks here. Our next 2 items give ample regen, and I skip blink and go for force stuff. Again, like with LC earlier, because it's still true, as offlane not depending and basing a build off of an item that, you know, we might not get is probably a good thing, and force stuff helps us do the most important thing, actually get the lasso off. But then we get into the good stuff, Meteor Hammer, one of the 5 new items. And while I'd say the most perplexing, they're all sort of perplexing in their own special way, right? Who is this item for? Okay, it gives 12 strength, 12 int, 4 HP regen, 1.5 mana regen. It seems like a good item for an int hero who perhaps needs to be durable, like bats, or a strength hero who needs extra mana, like Pudge? Fair so far. But then we get the active. After a 3-second channel, you strike a 2-second stun in an AoE that deals 690 damage to heroes and 375 to towers. Weird, right? So we have to find a hero who would willingly stop what they're doing to stand still for 3 seconds to get the spell off. The best hero would be someone who disables and then couldn't do anything but wait for the disable duration. Like maybe Bane, or ET, or, oh yeah, Batrider. And it gets better. That 690 damage, yeah, that comes in 7 instances. It's a DOT, which means 7 extra ticks of sticky napalm. Oh, it's 690 for a normal hero? Well, that means it's reliably 2,440 for Batrider, with 5 napalm stacks. But at this point, haven't we overkilled the enemy? Who needs that much damage? Well, that's the magic, right? It's a 40-second cooldown, and with it you can win a fight and then immediately push a tower. The one thing Batrider could not do before. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Meteor Hammer is an awful item. I mean, any person can stun you out of the channel and ruin the strat, and after you've lassoed someone, you become the most popular person in the game. Every single player will be running straight for you. But it's great. It's fun. If I'm wrong at a conceptual level about this entire thing, and yet still winning games, then something's really off. I haven't become a better Batrider. Literally, I'm winning because of Meteor Hammer. But that's the developer's problem, right? For us, I guess just spam Batrider Hammer until it doesn't work anymore.